Hello everyone, it's Cameo. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what nonfiction books I'm hoping to read this month for Nonfiction November. There are 4 challenges that you can use to inspire your picks for Nonfiction November. I think they are home, substance, love, and scholarship. I don't think I'll be doing any of these because I just know that if I picked books specifically to fit these prompts, they wouldn't be the ones that I'm most excited to read, and I probably wouldn't get around to them. So I'm just going to go according to my taste right now. Now, I have another video up about what fiction and poetry books I'm planning on reading. I don't think I could do just a whole month of nonfiction because I have so many other fiction books that I want to get read, but I do really like nonfiction, and I'm going to try to get in at least 4 nonfiction books, but maybe less, we'll see. So I'm going to talk about those 4 books and then a few other ones that I have in mind if one of these doesn't work out. Yeah, so let's get started. One of the books that I would like to read is Crow Country by Mark Cocker. This book is about corvids, really, about crows and jackdaws and rooks, and the author kind of follows them around the UK and writes about them, and I personally really love corvids and all birds, really, but I'm very interested in reading this book and learning about them. Another book that I want to read is Waterlog by Roger Deakin, so another nature writing book. Actually, most of these are nature writing books because that's just my favorite genre. I should try to branch out a little bit for Nonfiction November, but I know that these are just the books that I'm really eager to read and I'm most likely to actually get around to. I've read Wildwood by Roger Deakin. He's just a very classic British nature writer, and I really enjoyed Wildwood. His writing is very detailed and focused on the specific aspects of nature that he's talking about. It doesn't contain as much autobiographical material as newer nature writing does, I think. This book is about how the author decided to swim his way around Britain. So he swims in rivers and lochs and the sea and many other unusual places, and it sounds really, really great. If you are doing the prompt, I think that this would be a good one to do for the substance one, the substance of water, or even his book Wildwood, which I would highly recommend, would be a good one for that challenge. Another book that I'm hoping to read is Gossip from the Forest by Sara Maitland, and this book is about the author traveling to various forests in different seasons and also talking about the relationship between forests and fairy tales. So this sounds so good and so fascinating. I'm really interested in fairy tales, and specifically the relationship between fairy tales and nature. This also seems to be about women and fairy tales, which is a topic that I'm really interested in. I loved the bit at the beginning of this book, which I've been flipping through, where she has the Oxford English Dictionary definition of gossip, and it sort of has, the first entry is one who has contacted a spiritual relationship with another by acting as a sponsor at a baptism. The second one is a familiar acquaintance or friend, especially applied to a woman's female friends invited to be present at a birth. And then the third one is idle talk, trifling or groundless rumor, tittle tattle. And Sara Maitland says below that, this is one of my favorite examples of how the trivializing of women's concerns distorts language. The gossip of my title is the encouraging, private, spiritual talk that we all want in times of trouble. Stories that are not idle, tales that are not trifling. So that just sounds right up my alley, and I'm really excited to get around to this one. I actually purchased this last month, I think, so it's still fresh in my mind, and I'm very excited. The 4th book that I'm hoping to at least start this month, I doubt that I'm going to finish reading the whole thing, is The Brontes by Juliet Barker, and this is a huge book. It's so long. I think a lot of this is actually the end material, but 830 pages of it are the biography. Um, and I've been wanting to read this for a really long time. I'm really interested in the Brontes, specifically the Bronte sisters, but also some of the other ones. I've visited Haworth, where they lived twice before, and I'm just completely fascinated by them. And I also just love literary biographies, just one of my favorite genres of nonfiction. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this. I've actually started reading a little bit of it before, and then got kind of bogged down with other things, but I'm excited to jump back in because I only got that far through. And it's a biography of not just the Bronte sisters, but also I think it starts with their father and it looks at their brother as well. I think that if you are doing the challenges, if you want one for scholarship, this would be a good one because I can't even imagine how much work went into writing this book. It's so detailed, it's so well researched and well sourced. Another book that I'm interested in reading, if I don't get around to those four, and something a bit different this time, is Nine Gates Entering the Mind of Poetry by Jane Hirshfield. And these are essays on poetry, I think, both from the perspective of reading poetry, but also writing poetry. And I write poetry and love to read it as well, so I think that this will probably be illuminating for me and hopefully helpful to my own craft. Next is a book that I picked up when I bought the Sara Maitland book. It's another nature writing book, and it's called Common Ground by Cowen. And I admit that I was drawn to it mostly for its cover, and then the title really drew me in. I think that's such a beautiful cover, this beautiful hair. This book is about the author moving from London to Yorkshire when his wife is expecting their first child, and he goes out into the edgeland near where they're living. And then I think that this book is kind of a deep dive into that very specific small landscape, and we get to see sort of what's going on there as the seasons change and just explore it in great detail. So I'm looking forward to this. And last but not least is this big one called Landmarks by Macfarlane. He's a very well-known nature writer if you're into this genre. I think The Wild Places was actually my introduction to British nature writing, and I really enjoyed that one. I've read The Old Ways as well, which was really good. This one, like his others, kind of looks at the relationship between landscape and literature and language, which is just a fascinating topic to me, and I think that his writing style is really engaging and easy to get into, and also very poetic, which I enjoy. So if I don't get around to the other ones that I have on my list, then I'm going to give this one a try. Although I think that the thing about these books, and probably all of the other nature writing ones that I talked about, is it really gives you quite severe wanderlust, so be warned. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got a few recommendations for nonfiction. I'm sorry that it's so nature writing heavy. That's just my favorite genre at the moment and kind of in general for nonfiction. I would love any recommendations you have for books in that genre. And I would also just love to hear what you are all reading for Nonfiction November or your favorite nonfiction books. So if you want to talk about that or any of the books I mentioned in my video, please comment down below. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe or like this video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!